Good morning, Kevin, Catherine, Jill. Okay, yesterday we were working on move number two. So rather than do the form, I want to go ahead and move ahead with that because I know how anxious Catherine is to do that for us. I left her with two questions. And the questions were, what is this? And what is this? Which is basically asking, what is the Shin Yi? So, Catherine, I want you to do the second move. Let's just start from the beginning so you get a little chance to ramp up here. And what we're doing is identifying, and I'm going to say all this again for Jill, who was not here. We're identifying what the yin and yang cycle is, what the yin and yang parts of each cycle is, and then what the Peng, Lu, An, and Ji are for each of the yin and yang cycles. Now, the fact that it's a yin and yang cycle doesn't mean that all four of those energies are going to be there. So, it might only be two or three of those energies. There are a couple that have other energies that aren't Peng, Lu, Ji, and An, but we'll deal with those when we run into them. Ran asked a question yesterday. It was a very good question, essentially focusing, as I understood it, on that issue. Not every move has Peng, Lu, An, Ji in it. Sometimes they're just Peng, Lu, and An, or Peng, An, and Ji. All right? That's true. And sometimes it's very difficult to decide what it is exactly is going on in a yin and yang cycle. And that's true, it is difficult because there are hybrid energies that are half of one thing and half of something else. They're kind of in between the worlds. So what I was saying was that the language for Peng, of say Peng, Lu, Ji, and An, is just that, it's language. It's a map. It's not the territory. The map is not the territory. Maps are very valuable. They can help you learn about a territory, but they are not the territory. When you discover the territory, it's going to be much more subtle, much more sophisticated than the map. Right? Because the map's what? A little piece of paper with some drawings on it. The territory is a real thing. And that's kind of the relationship between the language and the actual movement. So I think the language is very, very helpful in learning about this, but don't confuse the two. Okay, so Catherine, why don't you just start with the second move? So we're just going to do that one part of the second move. Let me demonstrate it again. We're going to do this part here. Boom, just that amount. So we want to know the yin and yang cycles. We want to know where the yin parts and the yang parts are. And then we want an analysis of the energies inside. In other words, draw us a map of what this actually is.
Of course. No problem. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 yin and yang cycles. Yin, yang. Yin, yang. Yin, yang. Yin, yang. It's getting more complicated here. Bong, Lu, An, Ji. Bong, Lu, An. There is no G here. Now, I have no clue. I even woke up last night and I worked on it. It was 4 o'clock in the morning, but I couldn't get it.
Okay, so what she did was very good. And from my point of view, it was all correct. Meaning she agreed with me completely. So, something I should say, Jill, because you weren't here yesterday, is we're going to simplify everything. When you simplify things, in a way, it makes everything simple, but it also creates a few problems too. So, for instance, you might analyze that first move like this: 1, 2, 3. We're not doing that. We're just doing 1. That's the simpler version, and I think it's, for us right now, it's much better to do it that way. Okay, so what I'm saying is we skip over some of the secret stuff that's hidden inside there, and we'll also pay some attention to the transitions between movements and between sections of movements. So this is actually a transition. It also could be Peng and Sai, right? It also could be Peng, Lu, An, Ji. So just depends on what you want to do. But that's for the future, right? For right now, just keep it really simple. Yin and yang. Okay. So I think Catherine did a great job. And then she got to a place where it was not clear for her what was going on. Now, this is actually the point of learning to do this. Because it's not clear for her, what that's saying is, in her mind, it's not clear what this is. But it needs to be clear what it is. All right? If you were facing a technical issue with some craft you were doing, like bookbinding or woodworking or something, or cooking, and you're just not clear what to do, that's liable to be the place you make a mistake. All right, so you need to know, oh, okay, I've run into something that this it's not clear to me what to do. I need to clarify that. Maybe I can't do it this time, but I'll clarify it in between. When we do it next time, I'll be more clear. So watch. All right? Each side of your body can be doing a different energy. And very often it is. So then you have to ask yourself, okay, watch the whole movement. I'm going to ask you what these energies are. And you're going to know it. You're going to understand it. What's this energy?
Wrong.
Yes. What's this energy of this arm?
An. Lu.
There's this is a hybrid. This is a hybrid movement.
Hmm.
It's got two energies inside of it.
Lu and An.
What's this energy?
Lu.
Yes. So to me, the ruling energy, the majority energy in this is Lu. I'm spinning on my axis. I'm also pressing down a little bit. So there's a little on in there. So maybe this is 70% Lu and 30% on. However, you can just call it Lu energy. So the Lu energy is on the right side of the body and it's going from the shoulder to the hip. Now let's watch this hand over here. What energy is this? Watch again. I'm gonna do a different position on my hand.
Pong.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether the hands turn one way or another way. It's still pung. All right. It's
But
upward going pung.
so if your two hands are doing two different movements, how can you decide what you're doing?
You're doing both.
Both at the same time.
Yes.
That's very complicated.
Lu and pung. Now the Lu actually comes first.
Mhm.
Lu, pung. Lu, pung. Lu, pung. One thing I wanted to talk about today, and this maybe is a decent place to bring this in. One of the reasons to do this kind of analysis is to set the problem up in your brain and begin to understand what the Xin Yi is. All right. So Ran, what's the Shin Yi of this motion?
It's like slicing.
Suppose somebody comes in, they want to punch you in the nose. All right. So here comes his hand in to punch. You're going to intercept it, and now I have control of his wrist. And it's already moving in this direction. So rather than try to stop it, I want to blend with it. So I'm actually, as it comes in, if I have time, I'm going to actually move toward it so that I can move away from it. If I back up and he comes in, I have no place to go. If I can't step backward, maybe there's a wall behind me or something. So instead, I move toward him. Now I can back up just by shifting my weight. And I'm backing up probably a good foot or 18 inches. Right? Now I'm going to intercept him. I don't have to grab him. All I have to do is just manipulate him a little. Since he's already coming in on this side, this hand will act like a wedge. Wedges, and to make it even more effective, the wedge comes from the Lu energy. But to make it more effective, I'm actually going to press down. So he's going to end up going like this. Boom. Sorry, I have to sort of grab it to, right? But I wouldn't grab him in real life. Because if you grab somebody, now he's got you. You think you've got him, but he's got you. All right? So you just manipulate him. That exposes his elbow. Now I'm going to have to grab his wrist here, otherwise I'll drop this thing. Watch. I've got his wrist, I've got his elbow. So if he's not a friend of yours, you can break his arm at the elbow. Pop. You may break it, you may just pop the joint open, all right? If he is a friend of yours, then you don't come right on the elbow, you come up on the upper arm, and you just help him move over to the side without hitting you. That's the Shin Yi. The Shin Yi in many, many moves has to do with the control of the wrist and the elbow, or maybe the wrist and the shoulder. So when we're doing moves like this, you notice my hands are always about this distance apart. All right? Wrist and elbow. You're controlling someone's arm. Now, in real life, of course, there's more body work and that kind of stuff. But a lot of it really is wrist and elbow. So I'm grabbing the wrist and coming behind at the elbow. Now I've let go of him. I'm grabbing someone else's wrist and coming behind at their elbow. And now I've got their wrist and their elbow, and I'm going to do a joint lock. I'll use the little one because it's right. No, I'll use the big one. Watch. All right, watch in here. I'm not trying to do this with my arms. I'm doing it with my legs and my abdomen and my back. And the arms are just carrying that energetic impulse into the other guy. So, for this first move, right, to simplify it, get ready, catch the guy, joint lock. Get ready. What's this? What's that?
On.
It's on energy, but what am I doing?
It could be a block.
Putting him down.
Could be a block, could be putting him down, could just be another joint lock. This first joint lock, you're going to twist this way and you're going to counter twist with the other hand. So this hand is going to be on the outside of the elbow. This one comes down, right? Could also be a joint lock. And you twist and now you're on top of the elbow. Now, you guys wouldn't necessarily know all that stuff. But if you watch, just knowing that little bit, if you watch as we go through the form, you'll see the same thing over and over again. The Tai Chi forms are full of joint locks. So at least half the things you do, if not more, maybe 2/3, are joint locks. And they're usually involving the wrist and the elbow. Now, the important part of knowing this is to understand that's what you're doing so that you can manipulate your internal energy correctly. And that's the point of doing Tai Chi. Not to become a martial artist, but to learn your own energy body. Watch this first move again. Do you see how this could be a movement? Could be. We're not going to count it that way just to keep it simple, but it could be. Could be. Could be. Could be. Could be. You're dancing from one Shin Yi to the next Shin Yi. And what's important is to understand the map of what you're doing so that now you can manipulate your energy correctly. So what ends up happening when you have all that and you do the form is you are putting yourself through your own paces. You're putting your system, your physical body, your mind, your energy through their paces. You're practicing it. Not to become a martial, well, maybe you become a martial artist, but not to become a martial artist, but to know yourself better. Notice that I'm turning on that foot. Pung, Lu on the right, Pung on the left, and I turn. I lift my toes and turn on my heel. If you wanted to do that as a martial application, you want to get as much bang as you can for the buck. You don't want to do this with your arms. You want to do it with your core body. Watch the core. It's the core that does it. The arms just carry the core energy outward. Clear? Catherine? All right, the next move. All right, boom. Now you relax. All right. Step, come relaxed. Very relaxed. Relax. Boom. Yin. Yang. Yin. Yang. Yin. Yang. Okay, so what's that? Well, that's also a joint lock. All right. It's a much more sophisticated one, but maybe I can get Annie in here to demonstrate. Could we borrow you a second?
We call this the dish rag. If you wring your arm out like a darn dish rag.
All right, so say you're sparring with someone, and they end up putting their arm up like this. Now you grab their wrist and you grab their elbow. I've got his wrist. I've got his elbow. Watch this. Okay, you guys are, it's gonna take a long time to get all those joint locks. These are, by the way, these are the 36 joint locks of Shaolin. You have to say it that way when you say it.
But
You have to say,
your lips have to move different, you know?
your lips have, yeah, your lips have to be different than the words, right? Because it's right, the 36 joint locks of Shaolin. All right, but actually that's what they are. So, all right, watch down here. It's easy to watch the hands. Watch this. That's what does the joint lock. That's what I want you to learn. But in order to learn that, you have to know it's a joint lock. To know it's a joint lock, you have to know it's a yin and yang cycle. All right? All right, here's how it works. Now, I can't actually do this with Annie. I can't actually do it to her because it will hurt her and then she'll punch me. And I don't like that. So I'm not going to do that. But, all right, she's got her hand up like this. Let's move in close here. All right. She's got her hand in like this. All right. So maybe she was gonna, maybe if she's gonna punch me. All right. So lower a little so they can see. So I've got hold of her here. I don't have to grab her, but I'm going to kind of surround it, right? And watch down here, right? You see how her wrist is collapsing. And notice that she's going down. Why are you going down?
You can't believe how much that hurt.
Because you can't believe how much that hurts. That's right. Right. I'm doing very, very, very little, right? But again, you don't do it with your arm, you do it with this. And so this hand is twisting this direction. The other hand is going to twist the opposite direction. So what happens is, watch your arm. You're crunching her arm up, right? Now you do me. Slow, 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 slow. Feel inside me.
Honey, I'm cooking. I'm not studying.
She's busy cooking. She doesn't want to do Tai Chi. But you get the idea, all right? Now, once you understand the Shin Yi, you can just forget the martial part of this. What you're really talking about is just body mechanics. What are you doing? All right? Okay. What am I doing? What am I doing, Joe?
A bad job of sweeping?
A bad job of sweeping. I'm sweeping.
That's good.
Probably a bad job of sweeping. The point is not to learn to sweep. The point is just to understand that's what you're doing so that you do a better job of sweeping. All right? In other words, you're moving your body in such a way that you actually could sweep. All right? It's the same thing. One, two. When you know all this stuff, when you got it, then you can just relax physically because you're not straining. When you're learning something, it's stressful. It requires a tremendous amount of energy to learn something. But once you know it, you can relax because you know it, all right? It's the same thing. I think I've told you guys this before, but I'll tell you again. I don't know whether it'll make you feel better or feel worse, but the hardest thing you will ever do in Tai Chi is this form. There are other forms that are much more difficult physically, but they're easier because you will have this background. And those forms are not different. They're just more language, but it's the same language. So you'll already understand 80% of it. One, two. You can just relax. Two. If you were really going to do this move as a martial art, it would look like this. But you don't have to do that. All you have to do is practice the right placement, practice the right sequence, right? Placement, sequence. Simple. All right? Inside, I'm doing the right thing. Jill, does this make sense?
It makes sense. Yeah.
I
How
hear
I can how I can absorb all that as, yeah, is the challenge.
It is not easy, guys. Very few people learn Tai Chi, really learn Tai Chi. Right? Just like, you know, there are a lot of people who can pick out a couple of tunes on a guitar, but they don't really play the guitar. If you want to really play the guitar, if you want to be Stevie Ray Vaughan, you have to understand what's going on. Boom. One. Pong. Lu. Pong. Relax. Pong. What's this energy? What's this energy?
Is uh is Lu energy like, if is it always on the axis of your spine, or is it just all turning energy?
It's it's not always turning energy. It's turning energy using your Zhongmai, the central column.
Okay.
Now, the truth is, every move includes some Zhongmai. So, okay, just to make things a little more complicated, the truth is every move uses all four energies. But most of the movement, maybe 98% of the movement, is pung. So just call it pung. Don't make it complicated, all right?
And
Well, so what is this?
what is that?
Leia?
There's a little Leia in there. All right? Watch. Pung. Lu. On. G.
It's G.
It's G energy. It's boom. It's energy. G energy often is going out, you know, strong like a punch, right? But G energy is created by condensing back into the Dan Chin. Right? I'm going to condense there. Boom, boom. That's what makes it happen. It's not by using your arm muscles. It's by condensing. Right? And you leave one spot where the energy can then pop out. So, right, go to the bathroom, take your tube of toothpaste, take the cap off, point it at the mirror, and squish it. Right? That's G energy. All right? This move is G. Catherine, you're nodding. Good? Yeah?
Yeah, because I got it. Yeah.
Good. Good. So now you guys need to learn to become map makers. You need to learn to do this for yourself. So now watch. Well, I'll leave this on as a clue. Watch. Okay, analyze that. Tell me where the yin and yang cycles are, where the yin is, where the yang is, and what the four energies are. You should be able to do that. Now, you need a lot more practice, but that's the idea. You can watch someone, you can watch your teacher, you can watch yourself and go, okay, what are we supposed to be doing in this move? What am I doing? All right? We're going to get to those moves. and you need to go, okay, it's this is what I'm doing. This is where I am. This is what the map says. And having that map will allow you to build your form. Then, after you have it all built, you forget about it and you just do the form. Catherine, you're a bookbinder, yes?
Can,
There-
yes.
There is going to be a procedure. You do this, and then you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this. And maybe in this particular project, the procedure's a little different because you want a little different effect, okay? But you know what the procedure is. You got to learn it. You got to memorize it. You got to practice it. You got to do each piece of it really right. You got to know whether A comes before B or B comes before A, etc., etc. And then when you learn all that, you forget it. And you just do the art. Right? That's exactly what this is. It's just instead of working with a book, you're working with yourself. The good thing about it is everybody has all these energies inside them. Tai Chi will not give you anything that you don't already have. It's just a matter of becoming aware of it and training yourself to use it, to cultivate those possibilities. Everybody's got a beautiful voice, except me, right? Everybody's got a beautiful voice, but you have to train yourself to be a good singer. At least I would need some training to be a good singer. All right, guys, practice up. We will go on from here in the next time. Ciao. See you next time.
Hey, Malcolm, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So there's 13 energies.
Yep.
Okay. Is any of them a rising energy that isn't Pung?
The 13th energy is called Ding, D-I-N-G.
Mhm.
And that's usually translated into English as central equilibrium. It doesn't really mean rising up,
Mhm.
but rising up is part of it. What it means is keeping your center.
Okay.
So part of it is being grounded. The other part is the rising up part.
Oh, okay. That's Ding. Okay.
Yeah, ding actually in Chinese, I'll show you. All right. This is ding. Ding. But it's a metaphor. It doesn't mean everything in your body is floating up. You would just be floating if you did that.
Mhm.
So ding really means to pay attention to your center and to keep your center.
So the whole principle of if something's going up, something is going down.
Yes.
So you're like stretching. Okay.
Shuling Dingjing Tichen Dachen.
Yeah. Shuling
Yes.
ding jin. Yeah.
Ding. Okay.
Ding jin is upward, maybe kind of upward going energy. But again, that's a piece of poetry. It's not the real thing. It's not the territory.
Do you know the 13 energies, Joe?
No.
Pangu Jian Sai Lea Jiu Kao, left, right, forward, back, central equilibrium.
So Sai is plucked, Leia is split, Joe is shoulder, and
No,
Cal is
Joe is elbow.
elbow, and then
And then shoulder.
Mhm. Hmm.
Cow. Cow actually just means hit. All right. Cow. But it stands in for shoulder strikes. All right. The guy's 3 feet away, you hit him with your fist. If he's 2 feet away, you hit him with your elbow. If he's 6 inches away, you hit him with your shoulder. Clear?
Oh yeah. Now I'm armed and dangerous.
No. Well,
All
don't
right.
don't beat anybody at CIIS up.
Generally not. No, that's more of a psychological abuse.
All right, guys. Have a good day. Ciao.
Yeah.